Welcome to Crow Creek Outdoor Skills. We're doing another experimental fire test on trying to develop our own fire starters. Something that will work for every day and something that works for emergencies. So if it works for emergencies, it'll work for every day. That's what I'm trying to do, is develop fire starters that can be used in extreme emergencies, but yet used for everyday fire. So we have here a little piece of denim that I've waxed. I'm going to see if I can get this to start with a fire starter. I put an accelerant inside some Neverdull to catch a spark. Should work just fine. I have a little pile of twigs right here. We're going to end up, when we start this, that's going to put it on top of the twigs. And anytime you're doing a fire starter test, you don't want to leave it laying on something solid, because that's not really how you're going to use it out there in the outdoors. You're going to put it on some twigs. So if you want to see how well the fire starter is working, you need to set it on some twigs to let the air get underneath it. That'll be great. Now, we're going to just carry this in a little baggie in our pocket. We would just take this. I've never done this, so I'm not sure how it's going to react, but I know I have great success with the Neverdull. The denim, using blue jeans, it's a little heavy to make a quick fire starter. Once it gets burning, it'll go good. It's a little bit slow on the start, but it gives you a longer burn time. You really are looking at fire starters. You need them to be effective around between the 5 and the 8 minute range. That's when you really need the BTUs. It's got to be pumping BTUs and a lot of flame. Don't worry about whether the thing burns for 12 minutes and has some tiny little flame. That is not viable. The flame is not viable. You have to have a viable flame to consider effective fire starter. Okay, a little tiny flame, a little soft flame is not a viable flame. Okay, so we're just going to rip this open. When it was damp, I put that Neverdull polish, silver polish type stuff, just pat it in there. So now I'm going to open this up and I'm going to throw a spark at it, and let's see how it takes off. Oh, there we go. Now we've got it started. So let's take, that started nice, and you got some fire here. Okay, let's get it going. Let's put it down here on these twigs. I didn't have a stopwatch, but on the camera it looks like it's about 3 minutes 40 seconds, 35 seconds actually. So you can see here, it's just going to keep this burning. You have this is a small piece. I normally carry in my kit, this is 12 inches long, 3 inches wide, 12 inches long, and I will fold it out. I haven't been using the Neverdull in there, but I'm going there because now, anyway, without that, you can't start this with a spark, a ferro rod. You have to use the flame to start it. Now, I've got me a nice little fire going here. It's been almost 1 minute. It's going on 1 minute. And this has got a lot of burn time left. I'm gonna turn that camera down on there just a little bit, give you a better shot. Now, I have to agree with you. I'm gonna bend down here so maybe you can see me. But I agree that the twigs are also helping to accelerate the flame. I just put a few down there, and they are dry twigs. I'm not joking around here, but this way I'm gonna build a fire. This is the base. Now we have this going nicely. Like, this is great. Now you put some more on top of there. Put it on there. This thing's going to keep cooking, and you are good. This is the real deal. Those little tiny things you buy, that's just all gimmicks. You can make your own, and it really works slick. I have 3 inches by 12 inches, typically what I use. I took one of those, I cut it in half, I warmed it up, and pressed in some of that Neverdol, folded it over, and you saw, I unfolded it. It had the Neverdol, I threw a spark, boom, we are off to the races. So right now we are at a full, we're running 3 minutes right now. And realistically, there's not much fire underneath there, a little bit, and that really helps. But that's how we build a fire in the outdoors. You're gonna lay it on something solid. Put it on something like this. Don't cheat yourself, just put a few twigs. It's just gonna keep going. We're at 6 minutes, 34 seconds at the moment. So right now we're at 3 minutes of burn. And, you know, you can't go wrong with this. I'm gonna let it go ahead and, well, you know, we're gonna be here for a while, so I don't think there's much point in showing how this is going to work out. We're at 7 minutes right now. Your critical time really on getting heat onto your kindling to make yourself an emergency fire, you're really going to be looking at anywhere from, you know, basically 4 to the 8 minute range. It's not going to happen before, and after that, these things that we're doing, it's going to start dying down. So I always try to look at realistically, do I have something that's going to work good in that 5 to 8 minute range? 4 minutes to 8 minutes, 5 to 8. You can see here now that our piece is looks pretty well consumed, and the wood has a nice little burn going. Now you can imagine if you had a bunch of twigs on here, you'd have a roaring fire, there's no doubt. Let me pick this off of here without hurting me. Yeah, that's pretty much carbonized now. And we're looking at, you know, bingo, 8 minutes right on. Right now it's 8 minutes. Okay. I think I'm going to take a look at that and take a little bit of, I had a little bit of discussion in the beginning, so I'm going to cut that back. I think, you know, but we were a solid 5 minutes. Like I said, typically I use twice as much. We're going to get it boosted up there. This was just a, you know, check it out, give you a little bit of video. See ya.